Thanks for joining us, guys. Congratulations. We'll start off, Coach Donato, if you want to just talk a little bit about your team in the tournament, and we'll field some questions for the student athletes.
Well, I'm just proud of our guys. There's been some ups and downs during the season, and certainly wasn't easy at a lot of points, but we stayed with it. It's a very close team, and I think they persevered at every turn. So very proud of these guys. I'm humbled by their commitment and chemistry, and it's just very nice to be a part of.
Thanks, Coach. Now we'll open it up to questions from the media. Right up front, Josh.
Josh Seguin, College Hockey News. This question's for Jimmy. Can you just describe your tournament? I mean, it's been unreal, really.
Yeah, well, I think I'm very fortunate enough to play on a very good team and with two very good players. And if you look at my goals this weekend, a lot of it comes from the hard work of my line mates. Kyle and Alex are great players, and they are very easy to play with. So I owe a lot of my successes to them.
Brian Sullivan up front.
Brian Sullivan, U.S. College Hockey Online. For Pat, as the senior on the days right now, how much of a relief is this? How much of a reward is it for all the hard work you put in this year and the three previous seasons?
Obviously it's a huge relief. It feels good, especially since my freshman year, me and the rest of the senior class made it to the finals and came up short. So we know how hard it is to get here, and we know how difficult it is even once you get here to win. So it's obviously a huge relief and also a huge accomplishment to come in here and get the championship this weekend.
Right up front.
Matt Clarida, Harvard Radio. Kyle, you often get sent out to talk after the team loses because you're one of the captains. So first, how does it feel like to speak after a big win? And second, what has it been like leading this team as a captain throughout this run?
Yeah, it's obviously nice to be here on the winning end. We've been talking about it all year. There are a lot of leaders on this team. We got two of them sitting up here, all the seniors. They've done a great job. And I think, Max and I will be looked at and say, they did a great job, but it's not us. It's everybody pulling on the same rope, and starts with the coaches. So I think there's a lot of leaders on this team, and it's an honor to be the captain, but I think a lot of other guys deserve some credit for that as well.
Savannah.
Savannah Rao, Harvard Radio. Another question for Kyle. You saved a goal. Puck went through Michaelik's 5-hole, and you got a stick on it, got it out of the way. You've been a great defensive forward for the squad for the entire season. Can you talk a little bit about that and about how a couple of other guys have stepped up on the defensive end even though they play forward?
Yeah, I think Steve and I actually talked about it in the locker room afterwards. I think there was a tip on that one. Luckily, I was behind him and could see it kind of squeezing through. Not sure if it would have went in, but obviously we've been harping on playing defense, and I think the Yale series really helped us a lot in being able to bear down the defensive zone and realizing that once you're up, you don't have to score to win. You just need to play good defense, and I think everybody on the team bought in, and it helped us this weekend.
Josh up front.
Josh Seguin again. This question's for Kyle. It just seems like you and Jimmy have kind of been the constants on this team. And, you speak to that, and can you speak to the chemistry that you guys have?
Yeah, sure. Obviously Jimmy and I came in together. We've been playing together in practice for a few years on and off. He's obviously an easy player to play with, and I think we've been able to kind of gel a little bit in practice this year, especially with Alexander Kerfoot. Jim's obviously, we kind of know each other's style. Jim's going to be looking for a shot, and I'm probably going to be getting him the puck. So it's obviously a combination that we've developed over time, but it's molding now. So.
Jimmy, can you guys say that as well?
Yeah, like Kyle said, we came in as freshmen together, and we played a little bit that year and a little bit last year, and this fall in captain's practices we were together with Alex, and yeah, it's just been kind of chemistry that's been developed over time, and I think, like I said, we both know where each other are going to be on the ice, and it's very easy to play with Kyle and Alex as well.
Right up front.
This question's for Pat.
back in January, you told us it was going to take a bit of a playoff run for us to be able to see you back on the ice. But way back then when you made those statements, did you envision something like this being able to happen?
I mean, to be honest, I think that was one of the reasons why I decided to push myself and try to come back, because I knew that with the group of guys that we had, that we could make a run like this, and I just wanted to be a part of it and try to help out as much as I could. And I felt like if I got back and was somewhat near 100%, that I would be able to do that. And obviously, it coming to fruition is incredible. But I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought we had a pretty good chance.
Tim?
Tim Rapley from Hockey This Week. This is for Coach Donato. How did you keep this team together? You guys appear to be hitting rock bottom. There was a loss to Brown. There was a really tough stretch. How did you keep the room together?
Well, I think we certainly were hit with more than our share of injuries, but I think we have a lot of unselfish players who put the team first. I look around to my right here, and I think there's great examples of that. Pat obviously will have an opportunity to have a playing career after, and unselfishly dedicated himself to trying to come back to help his teammates. Jimmy has had an incredible year, but not once has he ever put his desires ahead of the team, and I think his teammates know that, his coaches knew that, and Kyle and Max did such a great job leading the team. It's not easy to go from where we were last year to where we're sitting today, and it's hard to do it with just two leaders as well. And I think both Kyle and Max were able to also capture the other great leaders in the room. A couple of them sitting to my right now. So this is a talented group that believed in themselves, and I think that they refused at every turn to listen to what some people on the outside thought. I think coming into the season, I'm not sure where we were selected, but it wasn't all that high. Let's just say that. But you know what? I really think that it started, last spring with these guys, and these guys are winners on my right-hand side. I mean, they are the they are the right horses to have in the race. And as a coach, sometimes the best thing you can do is open the door and get out of the way. So I'm very, very proud to be involved with this group, and they're very deserving of the championship.
Again, it's Harvard's 9th tournament title, second only to Cornell's 12. They're the third number 6 seed to win our tournament. They were the last ones at the number 6 seed in 2004 to win it. Right up front.
Michael Ledecky, Harvard Crimson. This is for Coach Donato. A couple questions. First, how does it feel to win a tournament with your own recruits? Obviously, 2006 was your second season on the bench. And secondly, you talk about these guys being winners. Do you feel like that was something that came to you, beginning of the season, or was there kind of a grit to this team that was developed through the postseason or through the season in general?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. These guys worked. We started last spring. We worked on stuff in the summer. We tried to do some leadership stuff off the ice, not only to create one or two leaders, but to create leaders in all the guys. And I think that's really what we had. I think we had a room full of leaders, and I think that even just being in the new facility, and the excitement with that, it's on a day like today that I try to find a second to look upward and thank Kevin Landry and Joanna Boynton and Tim Barraquette. I mean, I think these guys started the year with a sense of pride, knowing that with the renovation and really the guys took it from there. And I think it's a group that never stopped believing trust me, it didn't look like we were going to score a lot of goals at Yale. And, and Alex Lyon was sensational. And, we were down 2-1 in the third period, on the road in a place that's not been very kind to us, let's say. So, but these guys just refused to stop believing that they were going to get it done. And, I think, Pat's trying to say the right things, but I know Pat. He came back to win the championship, and he knew that he could be a big part of it, and certainly he was.
Go ahead, Mike.
And to ask the players, again, Matt Clare from our radio, about Michaelik. He obviously went through a lot, as other guys on your team have, with the year off, and obviously Steve was going back and forth last year with the starting job. What can you say about the job he has done in the last month? Yeah.
I mean, Steve's been a rock for us all year. I think it's kind of underappreciated how he's started literally every single game for us, which is a really hard thing to do at the college level. You don't see many, if any, other goalie in the country with the workload that he has. And we know in a big game, in a big situation just like today, that he has our back, and he makes big saves, which he showed and which he's done all year. So it's great to have a kid and a goalie like Steve behind us. Just make you feel confident for when you do make mistakes. He's the last line, and he's a good last line.
Brian?
And Brian Sullivan, U.S. College Hockey Online. For Kyle, how does it feel, if you didn't know, to know that your win sends Yale to the postseason as well?
Yeah, we heard that in the locker room a little bit. That's okay. I think I think they're a great team, and like we talked about, Lyon has played great all season long, and they're a good team. They deserve some credit, but it'll be a fun one if we get those guys again at some point. So.
I'd just like to add on that. I think they're very deserving, and I think there's a number of teams, and I don't want to not have a chance to talk about Colgate as well. That's a great team. I think that pushed us, to the limit, and I think that there's certainly a team deserving of the national tournament as well, and they're well coached. I think they play a nice brand of hockey. They're fast, they're skilled, and I think they're a first-class team. So, hats off to them, and we feel excited to win, but very fortunate to come out on top against such a great team.
Josh?
Yeah, Ted, can you talk about Jim's play, over the last month or so? It just seems like whenever the big games get bigger, he showed up and scored goals for you, and obviously talk nationally now after this week.
Yeah, well, I think if you look at last weekend against Yale, the 2 game winners, and it's remarkable how consistent he's been, and he's not only produced offensively, but he's been very important to the penalty kill, 5-on-5 play, and he's a key guy, and I give him a lot of credit to the fact that he's developed himself as a 200-foot player, and I would say simply we're real happy he's on our team.
Tim?
Coach Tim Rapley, college hockey this week. Jimmy's now in the 30-goal club. He's climbing through that. And there's other names that you're familiar with, Savaglia, Lane McDonald, C.J. Young. How does he compare with some of those peers from your glory days?
I think Jim is, deserves mention amongst the best players ever to wear the crimson uniform. I think he's, I think there's always different eras and different teams and different, styles of play and all that kind of stuff. But to score, 30+ goals with the type of defense that's being played nationally, but more specifically in our league. I think we have some of the top penalty killing units. We have some of the top goaltenders, goals against, teams. So to do it under those circumstances is very, very impressive.
couple more questions up front, 2 more we'll take, and then we'll cut everyone loose.
This is for Pat. You quarterbacked the power play before you went down. You're doing it again now. How do you feel about the unit? And you guys obviously scored on it tonight and had probably the best chances you've had in a couple weeks with the power play.
Yeah, I think we have a really good power play unit. We got everyone. We basically have 5 guys who can go out there and make plays, and our coaches let us do that. And as we did tonight, we don't really, and it's just, sorry, kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, we have a good unit, and hopefully we can keep scoring goals, because obviously once we reach the national tournament and playoff games, the power play is a big part of who wins and who loses, and we got to keep pulling our end.
One more question up front.
Michael Ledecky, Harvard Crimson. I wouldn't mind getting Pat's and Ted's thoughts on this question, but the senior class came in very highly touted, very highly rated. Obviously, a bunch of guys out on the ice, sharing that trophy in the senior portrait have played all too few games in crimson uniform, given the time that they've been. And Pat, obviously, Max, Colin have all shared the challenges. Is there anything about this win, as a senior, that makes it particularly special, given kind of the trials of that senior class? And kind of, do you feel kind of, Pat, we talked about kind of what you thought you wanted your legacy for your class to be by the end of the season? What do you think this tournament does for that?
Yeah, I know. I think it shows that our class we went through a lot, whether it be injuries or academic scandals, but it shows that we persevered, and in the end, we're winners, and we worked hard, and we kept our nose to the grindstone and didn't give up when injuries came and when we got bad bounces, and it paid off, which made it all worth it.
Did you want coaches comment on that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just add that, this is a group that played in 2 league championship games, and was able to win the championship in the ECAC this year. And, it hasn't always been easy, but I think they were important parts of the turnaround. And, I'm particularly proud of the way they've handled themselves through through a number of different circumstances, whether it, whatever came their way. And, when I think of that class and the number of, injuries they've had and what they've persevered through, I think of, just looking at the score sheet tonight, it gives me chills to see Steve have that kind of performance, to see Pat, have that kind of performance, and then to cap it all off, to see Colin Blackwell, with the empty netter, after all he's been through. There's a bunch of guys in that room that feel very blessed to see that happen. And it's sometimes you read about someone being injured and being out, but to have something kind of taken away from you like that, and to kind of be around but not be able to be involved is awfully tough. And I think these guys believed in each other, and I know the coaching staff certainly believed in them, and they get to go out of here tonight with the ECAC championship, and well deserved.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys. Once again, congratulations on the title, and best of luck in the tournament.